Georgia Environmental Protection Division Director Alan Barnes got an opportunity recently to see firsthand how agriculture is managing its water resources around the state. Barnes took a tour of various farms that have motivations to conserve water quantity and quality. The Monitor's Mark Wildman was also on the tour.
With the hot days of summer upon us, it is a very common sight to see large irrigation systems at work in the fields. But many people do not understand how Georgia farmers manage water and think producers are not being good stewards of the resource.
It's important that people who are setting policies and regulations to get out and see exactly how water is being used and how farmers are working hard to manage those resources.
Recently on a tour sponsored by Georgia Farm Bureau, Georgia EPD Director Alan Barnes visited farmers to learn more about their irrigation practices.
In my opinion, the best way to find out any information is to get out and see the actual farmers who are actually doing it every day. This is their livelihood. It's not just their work and their passion. This truly is their life, and they understand it. So what I'm here to do is to try to learn from them.
Once on the farms, he got a chance to see that although large amounts of water are used, it is in the best interest of the farmer to conserve quantity and maintain water quality. Farmers around Georgia have different issues as it pertains to irrigation, and they got an opportunity to share their thoughts and concerns with the director.
I've been very impressed. I mean, they're open to, we've seen some drip irrigation systems. We've seen obviously surface water, we've seen groundwater, we've seen obviously the pivot systems and different types of irrigation systems. I'm anxious to see even more and to hear them talk about which one of those work, how they work, and the costs that are involved in that, and certainly the maintenance and operational challenges that they have. And that's how we learn and that's how we move forward.
One of the topics the tour is focusing on are ways that farmers are conserving water. Like this irrigation pivot behind me, the nozzles are dropped, thus saving the water from evaporation.
The drop nozzles is to have low pressure and get it closer to the ground so you don't lose as much to evaporation, the wind don't blow it as bad, and it goes to the ground quicker.
Modern irrigation practices have come a long way, and they continue to improve. But one thing that remains the same, without them, farmers simply could not make it.
If there weren't irrigation, I would fear to think of what agriculture would look like in Georgia today. I guess it would look fairly similar to how it looked in the early 50s. But we've made strides beyond that. I mean, we're producing a higher quality, better food product now than we've ever done.
Whether they are pumping out of the river like this location in Macon County or out of a well like this one in Bleckley County, farmers are affected greatly by the policies made in Atlanta.
A lot of times when you go to Atlanta, you hear people talk all about the negative of agriculture and the misuse of water, the not measuring it, the inefficiencies. And what he's seeing today is that there's a whole variety out there.
Director Barnes got a chance to see how farmers are using irrigation ponds and lakes to maintain a reliable water source. And he got a chance to hear how the producer does not want to overwater.
A lot of times things get confused from here to Atlanta, but with him out here on the farm, he sees with himself, you know, what I'm faced with every day.
I thought it was fantastic that he was willing to come out, particularly on such a hot day, and sweat along with us and kind of see the issues that we're talking about here in water planning and agricultural water use. I think that's fantastic that he was able to come.
And that shows farmers have someone who is willing to listen to them at EPD. For the Georgia Farm Monitor, I'm Mark Wildman.